Hey everyone. So I'm going to talk to you about the origin and the geography of ancient Rome. So first, Romulus and Remus is a legend about the founding of Rome. So if you'll do me a favor and you'll pause my video and you'll go to this link right here and you'll watch this YouTube link, it will give you a lot of information on the legend. So I'll pause just a second. Okay, hopefully you watched the video about Romulus and Remus. A few of the things that I want to point out to you all are about the story. So, what can you remember from that video? Well, one of the things is that the mother put the babies, the twins, in a basket and put her in the river. What other kind of story do we know that sounds like that, where they put a baby in a basket and put them into the river? Moses, right? Also, the boys were raised by a wolf, by wild wolves. Like, where have we heard that story before, where the babies are raised by a wolf? In the Jungle Book. So this has a lot of ties. This legend, this myth, has been used throughout history. So keep in mind that when we are learning things in ancient history, there are a lot of connections that we can make. So in Rome, these are actual statues. This is a duplicate of the statue, and this is the actual statue that is present in Rome, Italy, even today, to show their founding of Romulus and Remus. Well, in Romulus and Remus, and we'll talk about it here in just a second, it was a legend about Rome's foundings, beginning with Aeneas, a hero of the Trojan War. And I don't remember how much you guys remember about Greek mythology and the Trojan War, but basically they waged a war against the city of Troy. And after Paris of Troy took Helen from her husband, so according to this legend, Aeneas settled in Italy after Troy was destroyed. And this continues because Romulus and Remus are supposedly descendants of Aeneas. The twins were abandoned by their mother but rescued by a wolf. When the twins grew up, they decided to found a city, but they fought over its location. So Romulus killed his brother and traced Rome's boundaries around the Palatine Hill. So already, even in the legend, Rome is very much built on chaos, on fighting, on violence. So understand that when we're learning about Romulus and Remus, it's foreshadowing, a future of Rome being in, disarray and really having struggled even through history to keep things civil. Says after Romulus, a series of Roman kings ruled the city sometime in 600 BC. However, the Etruscans conquered Rome. The Etruscans were a people from northern Italy, but the Romans wanted self-rule. In 509 BC, they overthrew the Etruscan king and formed a republic. A republic is a government in which people elect their leaders. You'll learn more about the Roman Republic. So next week, we're going to talk about the Roman Republic. We're going to talk about the different parts of the Roman Republic and how very vital the Roman Republic is for us in the United States, because a lot of the things that happen in ancient Rome, we mirror those things in the United States. So 2,000 years ago, we're using things from 2,000 years ago. Let that sink in. So the actual origins of Rome are a little different. The first settlers of Rome were Latins. They came from a region surrounding Rome. They chose the spot for its mild climate, good farmland, and strategic location. The Latin and later settlers built Rome on 7 steep hills, and here in this picture you can see the 7 hills that they built Rome on. So during the day, settlers farmed the fertile plain and at the base of the hills, and at night they could be at their hilltops so they could defend themselves. So it was a very optimal place to live because they could be up high and they could protect themselves. Okay, so it was a good spot. Now, also in that picture, which I didn't point out, but in this picture you have the Tiber River, which is where they got a lot of their source of drinking water, their source of, later on we'll talk about how they traveled and it really increased their trade. But it caused Rome to help it be a hub for trade and ideas and we'll talk about that more later. So the location of Rome. Rome is located on the Italian peninsula, and a peninsula is a body of land that is surrounded by 3 bodies of water. It's shaped like a boot. The heel points towards Greece. So it's not a great picture, but you can see the heel here, and this is Greece, what we've been learning about, ancient Greece. And the toe points towards Africa. And here on the map, you can see a little better. So here we are in the United States in good old Kentucky, and then we're all the way over here is where Italy is, and you can see the boots, and it's right in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Okay. All right, the Tiber River and its impact. The Tiber River provided a source of water for farming and drinking. Later, it provided a route for travel and trade. Small ships could sail up to the Tiber to Rome and down the Tiber to the Mediterranean. The river also provided protection from invaders since Rome was located away from the mouth of the sea. And here you can really get a picture of all of the different countries that surround Italy. So you can see, Spain, France, Greece, North Africa, Turkey, all of these different places that Rome was able to trade with and communicate with. It says Italy's location on the Mediterranean made it relatively easy for them to reach other lands. The position made it easy for Rome to eventually conquer and gain new territories. It also helped them to develop trade routes. So in future lessons, we're going to talk about the spread of the Roman Empire and how that spread of the Roman Empire not only impacted trade, but also ideas and beliefs, Christianity, and we're going to talk about that as well. So here we have 2 different mountain ranges. We have the Alps, which are mass and mighty, and then we also have the Apennines, which run towards the spine, right in the middle of Italy. Now, while there's mountains here like there were in ancient Greece, it wasn't as divided as Greece was. In Greece we had very different city-states that had, Athens and Sparta with very different cultures. Well, while Rome is going to have, not Rome itself, but Italy is going to have different city-states arise, Rome itself is going to be very connected. So even though it's on 7 hills, it's still very connected, interwound with beliefs and their way of life. Geography of Rome Edpuzzle. So if you'll click on this Edpuzzle, this is one that you watch and you get a lot of good information on it. So if you'll click on this, it will take you automatically to my Google Classroom, and it will link it to the Edpuzzle. Farming. This is very important. You need to understand this about farming. Originally, Romans lived by farming. Most of the early Romans worked small plots of land. They planted grains such as wheat and barley. They also grew beans, vegetables, and fruit. Later, they learned to grow olives and grapes. They also raised pigs, sheep, goats, and chickens. They used oxen to pull their plow. Farmers who owned land also served in the army. In fact, for a time, only landowners were allowed to join the army. Guys, that's kind of a big deal. It says Roman leaders believed that property ownership would fight harder to defend the city. Landowners were also able to pay for their own military equipment. So a lot of times, the only people in the army would have been farmers. And they thought that farmers, fought harder and more diligent because they had things to protect. They also had a means to pay for their equipment. It says over time, some farmers grew richer than others. They bought more land and built larger farms or estates. So this is the start of where we're going to have a gap form between farmers and the owners of the estates. The gap would later produce divisions in Roman politics and government. So we're going to see a divide happen between haves and have-nots, because all of, in ancient Rome, they kind of all started the same as lowly farmers, but then as more acquired land and more acquired larger estates, you're really going to see that divide between the wealthy and the poor. And that divide is going to end up in politics and in government, and we're going to see that later on in lessons. Right here it says, at first most Roman farmers lived simple homes made of mud or timber. They did not have much furniture. In addition, farmers lived in extended families, like having their grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, and nephews and cousins. The members of Roman farm family had to work very hard. They farmed land with simple tools and fetched water from a well or nearby spring. The small amount of land on most farms had to produce enough food to feed the family. This meant that everyone had to be very disciplined about his or her responsibilities. The qualities of discipline would help Rome succeed. They were the qualities that made Roman armies so successful. When soldiers went to war, they had to obey orders to do their jobs. This attitude would help Rome conquer all of Italy. So this discipline, this idea of, responsibility was very important, not only just in the family, but in the Roman army as well. And we'll see that later on when we talk about the expansion of Rome and its empire. So this was a map that we did in class for half of you, because I had half of you, but I didn't have the other half. And if you go to the next one, it actually has it all filled out. So if you can, fill that map out because you received that today, and color in those different sections. It has locations, it has bodies of water, it has important cities, some things that you learned about. With the Fertile Crescent, you've got the Tigris and the Euphrates. Here in the Persian Gulf, you've got Egypt, you've got Alexandria, the Nile River, and the Red Sea. All of those locations that before you've studied. Over here we have Athens, where we talked about the Mediterranean Sea, and then Rome. And we've named some of these places because later on, when we talk about all the different places that the Roman Empire is going to conquer, these are going to be important. So do this map, color this map, label this map, and then I want you to take a picture of it and attach it on Google Classroom. These are some different questions about Rome in general, and they are, kind of self-explanatory. So as you click on the PowerPoint presentation and you get here, I've really highlighted, the important facts in these questions. If you want, you can, instead of having the map that you colored and you label, because I didn't have you in class, if you want to just drag these to put them where they need to go, then you may do so. And then you can take a picture. See, I can just drag these over. Where's Egypt at? Egypt. Oh. So you can just start dragging these different things over to where they need to go. And then once you do that, you can take a screenshot of it, or you can use your camera and take a picture of it, whatever you want to do. And like I say, just drag and click. If you have a question, if you don't know, what to do, or if you're not sure where things go, just refer back to the PowerPoint, and everything is already labeled and colored for you in the PowerPoint. So just click on the PowerPoint, okay? All right, let me come back here. There's another Edpuzzle here where, as a whole class, the other class, we did this all together. So if you click on this and you answer the questions, then it gives you some information about Rome. So this was the intro to Rome, our Roman geography, our Roman origins. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, what you're required to do is you need to complete that map. So either do it on the computer, take a screenshot and attach it, or you can color in the sheet, label the sheet, and take a picture of it and send it to me. Those questions need to be answered either on the sheet and taken a picture of, or you can create a Google Doc and answer those questions on a sheet of notebook, or on a Google sheet for me. Okay, bye guys.